Internet data reveals one incontrovertible truth. Humans obsess over pets. In the US, more than 3.8 million cat videos and photos are uploaded every day. First search result: Hiccup Games, who make iPad games designed to be played by cats.
Hey, what's up, dude?
How's it going?
How you doing?
Good.
Here,
You missed a package.
Oh, I'm Mr. Package.
Hey, puppies.
These are my dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Still don't have a cat. Oh, come on, guys.
yeah.
Come inside. Come on.
Maybe you should get one.
Farquhar, come on.
I'm Nate. 4 years ago, my business partner TJ had a crazy idea.
I said, well, you know, the iPad just came out and I've been noticing cats playing on iPads, but of course they're playing games designed for human beings. I think we should make a game for cats. And Nate thought it was a terrible idea at first.
I was just like, put my head in my hands and I was like, no, TJ, we're not doing that. That's a really dumb idea.
I love it in here. It's like a jungle.
Thanks.
A tiny, tiny jungle.
It's a little small. I mean, at the time, neither of us even had cats. I'm actually a dog guy. You're like, but you know, I do think we can finish this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds really easy to do.
I was like, all right, I'll spend 1 month on it. It's worth it.
And it was. It was like we finished it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
I had made a YouTube video of a cat, a little white cat playing the game. That video just started getting hit after hit after hit.
We'd head over to Twitter and we'd search for iPad game for cats and the tweets were just flying by.
The game itself was being downloaded a lot. It seemed like the views on the YouTube video correlated with sales of the game.
He scored. Good strategy.
All of a sudden, it sparked this like internet video revolution of cats playing their owners' iPads and then sending us the videos. It's a very weird success. You can't choose what you become known for, I guess. One of the original things that I said to TJ was, you know, I don't want creating a game for cats to be the greatest achievement of my life.
From the very first initial idea, this game has really just sort of been a joke between Nate and I.
But it turns out that it ended up actually helping people relate to their cats. We get a lot of emails saying, you know, my cat, she's been really reclusive, she just stays in a corner, and then now with your game, she'll come out and she'll come and she'll play on the iPad, and then now it's given her a new life. There's be this real emotional connection between the people and the cats.
Now we're gonna create our fourth and hopefully most successful game for cats.
For us, every new game starts with a brainstorming session. We throw out as many ideas as we can and see what sticks. And to be really successful, we almost have to think like a cat. I really want to get a little more 3D into our games.
Yeah.
Because we've just been so 2D so far. So I made like this like silly little like fish character, super simple. You put these deformers like here, 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 and here.
Right.
They will turn the model into this like jelly creature that reacts to touch.
It's just really tricky when you have jelly physics to keep the whole thing stable. One of the things we need to do is figure out a way that we can really analyze this motion.
I mean, I think I can model this thing pretty quickly. It's pretty simple, honestly.
All right, let's go do it.
Let's do it. So I'm really hoping this jelly creature fish game is really going to be our next level of cat games. These are possible jelly guys.
So I also want to talk more about what sounds we play,
Right.
So there's like
So-
rough rustling of like leaves and roughage.
Low frequency, low volume.
At the highest level, TJ and I split our responsibilities among like art and programming. He does almost all of the visual art and I do all of the programming. We really complement each other in that, well, for one, I think TJ has a lot better taste than I do.
Now that we have our game concept, it's time to go in on research and development.
If there's one animal that can challenge cats for internet fame, it is the dog breed known as pugs. Second search result, Butt-Sniffin Pugs, a pug simulator that invites human players to explore the world the way dogs do, specifically by peeing and pooping everywhere.
How has my life been changed by pugs? It's what got me into the games industry. It's how I met my wife.
He loves video games like so much. Ever since we were friends, like wanted to make a game, and I love pugs so much. I was like, well, since you want to make a game, you should really make a game about pugs.
You know, Michelle looked just like, just make it like a cooperative, safe, fun little virtual pug world that anybody can play, where you can just poop and pee and have fun. I was like, oh, okay. And of course, that's the game that everybody loved. Hi, I'm Gabe.
Hi!
And this is my wife, Michelle. And together...
And these are our pugs, Alice and Bella.
And together with a bunch of our friends, we're making Butt-Sniffin Pugs.
What's Butt-Sniffin Pugs about? Yay!
Butt-Sniffin Pugs is a game about using pug powers to explore this little dog world that is Central Bark. That's pretty much it.
We also need the funding so we can produce professional pug butt controllers.
Wait, are you serious?
What makes this game one of a kind is this handcrafted controller we've created. Players control their movements by spinning this gigantic tennis ball with their hands and hitting this giant pug butt.
Butt-Sniffin Pugs, it's a game of joy. It's something you remember because you share it with somebody else. You literally have to stick together, and if you want to do more stuff, you have to sniff their butt. So you're always exploring this park together. And the idea that it's not just designed for two people, but accessibly as well, that's also really important. We want to have a game that a person with a disability could play, or a mom with her kid. You know, those are the moments that mean the most to us. There's this one time at PAX, we saw a dad and his kid passing by, and this kid was in a wheelchair. You know, as he's walking by, and I rip this controller out and like get it like as close as I can to him. I just say, just have fun. And seeing his face and his dad cry at me and say thank you. And I'm trying to hold it in at a booth, and I'm like, I love you, and I'm trying not to cry. Those are the moments why we're making games. The controllers have been used for over a year, so they got a lot of wear and tear. And so thankfully Andrew was able to fix them up. I came to him with a crazy idea, and he made it into a reality.
So I always joke that I'm a mad scientist at heart. I'm not really an inventor, or I am an engineer, but deep down I'm a mad scientist. This is a garage hobby project that I've learned, and reading forum pages and watching videos on YouTube on how to make a trackball, from a mouse and all these different things. And now here I am exploring, real production solutions. And then, it's kind of blown up to now we're really actually looking at production and really looking at it. And that's kind of a big deal.
So let's test this bad boy. I think I got a good seam on it. I think I did it up far enough, but let's see what we can do.
What are your thoughts on making the mini versions of these?
Well, we can't use plushies for that.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's for sure. So I'd like to do either a foam mold of some sort or a hard plastic.
So the controller right now is very large, and I'm getting kind of annoyed of it. What we need to do is we need to make it compatible and friendly for people with disabilities, for people with, that have kids, and we need it to be safe, and we need it not to be made out of like giant metal parts and pieces of wood, and so we're gonna shrink it.
I'm really worried about how expensive injection molding is. From what I understand, it's in like the 10 grand range, and we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
It is kind of a struggle because we're looking for off the shelf for a very custom application. The stuffed pugs are stuffed pugs we got off the internet, and we hacked them up ourselves and sewed them together. We filled the center of it because it's more expedient to do it that way with a pool noodle to give it the stiffness that we wanted. All the optics, all the electronics, they came off of something else. It's completely hacked apart and put back together. at this scale, even under a couple thousand, there's just no point. It's almost better to just do a DIY, and that's a big challenge.
Ooh.
What?
This is kind of chunky.
Everything about BSP is completely indie. It's not what I thought would happen. I didn't think that BSP would get up to this scale where we're still using the garage and we need to go bigger, but it works.
Drop the ball. Feels pretty all right. Buttons feel good.
It looks a lot better.
Thank you.
It's been an understatement that the last 2 months have been interesting. I would definitely not recommend trying to plan a Kickstarter, trying to hold a team together of like 10 people, and on top of that, to lose your job and then find out that your wife is pregnant.
We are having a baby.
I have 3 months of savings and I have to spend a month of it to figure this out, and I don't have any money to do so. And so I think it is doable. And yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She thinks it's gonna be twins.
I don't know, I just have this weird feeling.
Where did you get this cat?
A friend.
In game development, understanding your player is key. But when that player is a cat, you have to design the game by thinking like a cat.
If we want this squishy fishy game to really attract cats better than ever, we need to consult a real cat authority.
One of the things we were wondering is, when cats go to play, is it all about their hunting instinct?
Well, there's many aspects of the behavior, so it doesn't always have to do with the kill. It depends on hunger, it depends on whether or not the cat has learned how to take that prey and actually consume it.
Maybe we should show her the one that we have.
Yeah.
And then she can tell us what we're doing wrong.
Okay, sure. Yeah, there's a mouse that runs around. And
Do you have different size mice?
why might we use different size mice?
Yeah.
Because there are different size mice, there's different size rodents. Variety is really important. You want to make sure that everything that you have going on changes regularly.
Okay, yeah. What are some things that you think we can do that actually help the cats?
You need an end game. We don't want the cat to be frustrated, and we don't want the cat to lose interest. Either catch the physical object or eat something. There needs to be an end. I think that there's an important element of audio that you may want to tap into. Cats can hear things that we can't, especially ultrasonic sounds or vocalizations. Let's see how his ears work.
It's time to let the cat out of the bag.
He's been waiting all day to say that.
Try and snap your finger behind his ear and to the side. You see, there you go. They'll orient to the source of the sound.
Right, they like rotate.
And that will help them locate the source of the sound.
So we got some awesome tips from Dr. Goldman. Now it's time to implement them into our prototype. Sound, size, snacks. It's driving him crazy.
Oh, okay. All right, now let's try 16. I can't even hear that, can you?
Barely. I'm working on adding a variety of different sized squishy toys. We haven't quite figured out how to get the iPad to give a cat a treat, but we're working on it. After 2 weeks, we've got a working prototype. Now it's time to do some user testing. A feline focus group, if you will. Kitties!
Wake up!
It's playtime! There's only so many ways you can iterate on a cat game. It seems though if you change anything, then you're suddenly getting too complex and then the cat doesn't respond to it. I do have a small concern that we may have gotten too complex with this game, but we'll see how they respond. Maybe warm him up with the original, just see if he even likes this. He's obviously into it. Let's test the other ones.
Okay.
Test the jelly one. I'm really curious about that.
Let's see if he likes the jelly.
Oh, you got him moving. I didn't even realize. Oh, nice,
Yeah,
dude.
I have him jumping.
There's no sound on this, right?
No, I haven't done the sound yet.
Whoa, that is cool. I have not seen that.
He's watching him, but...
Yeah. How,
there we go. Yeah.
Let me see. Is the touch interface isn't quite there yet? It seems like.
No, it's better than it was before, but it's still not. Actually, that's not even really working.
For the jellyfish game, we really need to work on the interaction. It doesn't feel very visceral. When you move the goldfish, it doesn't feel very tactile. It's a little bit too stretchy, and sometimes it moves off the screen. I think the idea is solid, but we need to play with the parameters.
I think we also need to come up with there's got to be more of a purpose to it, even if it's super simple.
I know, because cats will not play a game if they don't have a sense of purpose.
Yeah, totally.
The controllers humans use to play games are often taken for granted, but they affect every part of gameplay, including who can play them. For the independent designer, manufacturing an entirely new controller in one's garage presents staggering challenges.
So I think our next step is to look for local companies that could manufacture stuffed pug butts.
Hello.
Hello. I hear you are a stuffed bear professional.
This is true.
My name is Gabe.
Kyle.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Andrew. The biggest challenge we've had is really just sourcing materials, right? We've had some stuff come in from China. We had to source one of the pugs from Australia. It's all out there, but how much money are we really willing to pay? And as a garage outfit, how much can we afford to pay?
Would it be just a layer
I guess what we-
batting or foam, or are the legs stuffed?
The legs would be stuffed.
So,
but I mean,
we have to see off the legs.
well, we don't have to seal it necessarily. We can. They're not sealed on the ones you have right now.
I know, but that's ghetto.
Okay.
We want this to be nice, and so the idea would be something custom, like you were talking about.
Right,
so maybe
right,
there's just something on the bottom, because people are going to be smacking it a lot, so it hits the inside, so it hits the button easier. Now that we've found the ways to make this controller production possible, we're finally excited because now we can start the launch of this Kickstarter, and we can bring this controller to so many more people.
Did you think we would be here a year from now?
Never.
From a garage to sitting on a giant bear thighs.
No.
Kickstarter itself is a little nerve-wracking just because it's unknown, but I think I'm more excited than nervous.
I have the mind of a director, and I'm thinking about merch and marketing and music and art and design and all this stuff.
This is a very big undertaking where you're developing a product like this.
I think there's a lot of stuff actually that should probably be redone to match the vibe.
We want the player to choose where they want to go, and depending on where they want to go, we push them in that way through our accessibility design, our game design, sound design, etc.
We have to explain the controller to lots of people.
Yep.
I can make a kind of blueprint thing, willing to change everything. This is.
That has to be done by tomorrow.
The game design.
Yeah, the new build stuff for the Kickstarter.
Okay.
If it was me, just myself, the builds would probably suck and they'd probably, crash and not be as great. I think it is doable. We can do it. I think we can do it.
Oh my God, there's so much stuff happening.
The internet cat world is densely populated with memes, cat celebrities, and even cat managers. But for a cat game to be a success, only one thing counts. Will the cat play it?
The beta test show we have a lot of work to do in these last 2 weeks before launch. We're at that 80-20 phase where 20% of our time went into finishing about 80% of the work, and now we've got to spend about 80% of the time finishing the last 20% of the work. It's all the real little annoying stuff.
You can always improve it, you can always make it better. Making the gameplay itself is actually probably only, 40% of the work, but it's the riskiest, and so that's what we focus on.
If the cat is at least interested, we know we're at the very least halfway there.
You've got to build all the menus, and you've got to have the look and feel, and you want to share on Twitter and Facebook, and you got to make the app store and the website and the marketing, and there's all this huge body of work. But if you don't have the stake of the gameplay being good, then none of the rest of that matters.
I couldn't be more excited about this new game. Now that it's out there in the world, we finally get to see what cats do with it. It's out of our hands and into their paws. It's always really strange to think back from the very beginning, like a concept on a napkin, literally. It's something to be proud of.
I just read that Larry Ellison just bought an island in Hawaii.
That's full of cats.
We're gonna buy that island.
Yes, we need that island. Yeah, I don't think that's too unrealistic, honestly.
Platforms like Kickstarter are providing opportunities for indie game developers to innovate completely new things. They can also empower the players that the traditional games industry often leaves behind.
No, that looks so cool.
Dude, this looks great.
Thankfully, Andrew and I have been able to team up with IndieBox and Able Gamers, and if this Kickstarter is successful, we'll be able to release this game for everyone.
I just see how happy Gabe is, and it just feels right. He is finally in a good place, I think, where he knows exactly the vision he wants for the game, and everything's kind of falling into place now. So tonight we're hosting a Bring Your Own Pug party, BYOP, and we invited all of our friends to come and just play the game and have fun and hang out with our pugs.
Have fun, pet pugs, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions.
How I want Butt-Sniffin Pugs to change the world is I want people to start talking about accessibility. But the problem is, are people going to take the time to learn, to figure out how? And I think people should, because it's worth it. I think we're evident of that, that people will play your game and that there's this whole audience of people that also want to experience the joy of games.
And now just move around. I got a frisbee. Press it. Good job, you got it.
If there was anything that BSP could affect in the world, you know, whether the Kickstarter is successful or not, is if it makes people more aware of accessibility and it makes them design their games in that way, then I'll be happy.
Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, guys.
And to Butt-Sniffin Pugs. 1, 2, 3. How many?
Oh my gosh.
I know games, and I know the joy that games can bring. So it's like, why wouldn't I try to expand that with people that I love and work on a game that can show that to everybody?
This is the best idea I had.
Hi.
Hi, Fan.